Good day and welcome back to Blind Squirrel's Den. Today we're going to go over the braiding and weaving of my finger loops. They're split so that there are two individual loops with a slip knot. So when you put them on your fingers and you throw, they stay nice and snug. But as soon as you're not throwing, you just spread your fingers open and they loosen up so they don't choke and constrict and strangle the blood out of your fingers. So here we go. With your two strands that are going to be your main part of your sling. Find the middle point of them. And then you pick your color that you want for your loops. Today we'll use the gold. And you tie that Turk's knot. But this time it goes around your main two cords. And to tie the Turk's knot, we're going to start with the cord to us. We'll go over top, behind and underneath, and back over top, making an X. Going to come underneath and then through the loop you just made, and then you're going to go through the first loop you made and under it. You go behind, over top of this one, underneath of that one, and then you turn your work over. You separate these. There's that one there, and it goes over, under, so over this one, under this one, and then we're going to go over this one and through and out. You go through the whole knot so that it comes out, because that's the finish of it. Alright, so that's the Turk's head knot that way, wrapped around something. Now you just go back through, you chase the knot, tightening it up. So you follow your lead strand, goes around, comes to this, and you want to spend a little bit of time getting your knot nice and neat and snug so that it's good and flat, no lumps in it, because this is going to potentially be up against your finger. So you want it smooth. And in line with the cords so that they're laying nice. See, like this one can get tightened up, so you can start right here. Sorry if that went out of frame. I'm just constantly chasing it to the end of it so that we're pulling that end out and tightening it up. So, alright, so that's one side done. So now we go and we turn our piece. You can tie the knot upside down if you want, but that's a little bit more complicated or difficult, I find. So it's just as easy to flip your work over and tie another one. So this is the part going out that's going to make our finger loops. And this is the part that's going to make our new Turk's head knot. So let's make our other second Turk's head knot. So over, behind, over, make that X. Gonna go through, in through, behind, over, under, over, under, behind, flip it over, spread them open, over, under, and we're going to go over because we're back at the beginning of the knot and through the whole knot. And then same thing, tighten it up. Alright, so now we just want to get this piece in between on one side, and then that way your two other ends come out somewhat like they're supposed to, or equal. This is where our finger loops are going to go in just a minute. So now we're going to actually do the finger loop braid or weave. See, the most important part is that it needs to come up from underneath, so that when you trim it and melt it, the melted end is on the outside so that it doesn't hit your finger. Alright, so over top, up and through the middle, and then you do that zigzag, or whatever, over and under weave. Slide it. That's why you want to spend some time to get it nice and snug so that it doesn't go slipping around on you. And this I usually do 10 to 11 of them. You want it so that when it comes together, the two pieces, you'll see, just touch one another. If they were any longer, it may be uncomfortable to your hand. You can try it if you want. Like I said, I'm not really sure, but I will tell you one secret is we're using a full piece of paracord. This changes the way the sling feels in the hand. So when you have a full piece like this, in my opinion, your hand doesn't have to be as active in the throw. You want to actually try and keep your hand as still as possible. If you make this thinner, like what I do, I take all the guts out, use just the outer sheathing of the paracord, because I like to have a more active hand in my throw, and that seems to work better for me. So that's one of those things that as you're messing with this and making it, you should experiment with that. See if a thicker cord here in your finger loop helps you, or if a thinner cord in your finger loop helps you. Might make a difference to how you throw. So we're not going to have enough to make the whole thing like it's supposed to, or to fit me, but we'll do what we've got. So you just keep going, and then when you get to the end, you do come here and you come up underneath and inside so that it closes in on itself, and then I do two of those. So the next one's the same thing, comes up, makes like a little granny knot or whatever you want to call it, and then it closes back to the middle. Trim this off, melt it. That's the end of that loop. So flip it around. We'll do the same thing on this side, making sure that our strands are on the right sides, meaning that the strand coming through on the right is on the right, and the strand coming through that's on the left is on the left. So here we go again. Important part is that the end comes up and through the middle so that you get to trim it off and it's not poking you in your hand. So up and through the middle. And I usually do equal numbers, so whatever I did on the far side, I do on this side. Something else that you could play with. Maybe you can make adjustments. Fine tune your sling, one would say. By how many loops you put on each side. Maybe some might find that one side needs 2 or 3 more loops than the other side to help you throw exactly where you want to. Alright, and so we'll do that same, come up and there to capture it, and then over here the same thing. It's kind of like a granny knot, and then there again, puts it in the middle, trim it off, melt it down. Alright, now the actual part that makes the loop. So you've got your 2 finger loops. So now we're going to pass the ends of the main cords up and through. Being stubborn. Can't hold up. Come on, man. There we go. Alright. And then there again, you want to keep them on the same sides that there are so they pull through nice and straight. And then to determine the size, I put mine on my fingers, pull it tight, and then mark where that knot needs to go using that same constrictor knot. So let's tie that real quick. So the constrictor knot again goes over top, makes an X, comes up and through, and under and through all of it. Put it on your finger, tight. Slip this down. And then just gently slip it off your finger. And voila. That's where you need to tie your knot. Now we're back to the other video where I tied the two different styles of Turk's knot. So we'll tie just the under. So we go under. So it's going under this one and under this one, and up and through the loop of that one. So here's my piece that's going to do the work. Under, the next one out, and then under and up that one. Move to the next one in line, goes under and under, up and through. Under, up and through. And then the last one goes under, up and through. Oh, we won't get carried away with tightening that up. You guys saw that on the other video. But there you go. Finger loops. Alright, and here's the end results after they've been trimmed and melted.